Hello. We're here today as the Flick Fiends, which I guess we're still going with that.
Yeah, I
For
like
a
that
bit,
name.
yeah.
I think that's. I think it's a fun name.
This may be a subsection because I feel like what we want to do is we eventually want to do longer form stuff where we talk more about we do like a bunch of things in one little go.
Yeah,
A
because
little sit down.
I think that's a little bit more different than what a
Yeah.
lot of people do. But I'm perfectly fine just watching like a one-off movie.
Yeah. This will be Flick Fiends chit chat.
I like that.
It'll be
I
Flick
like
Fiends
that.
chit chat. So the Godzilla one was that probably whenever that gets edited
Yeah.
it goes up.
Yeah.
Which I had to do because I still have to edit my own shit.
I haven't even made the account yet for it. So
we're Flick Feeds chit chat, and we're here to talk about Nobody.
yes, sir. Nobody. All right.
From director. What's his fucking name? I don't know.
Director
the name.
pending. Director.
The director is. Well, I'll pull it up on here.
Yeah, hang on. Let me actually pull up
Okay.
some.
It stars Bob Odenkirk. He is Nobody, and that's why I was really excited to see it.
What else is he in? Like, what else is he famous for?
Okay. All right. So it's director Ilya Naishuller. He's Russian, which probably explains a lot of the context of the movie.
Nikorovich?
Yeah. And written by Derek Kolstad. And I do know that this is one of the producers on this movie is a producer of John Wick.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
at
it's
all.
not surprising at all. So, if you haven't seen a lot of the promotional material for Nobody is a movie about Bob Odenkirk, who basically plays a more, just like I guess even a more calm version of himself until he's not.
Yeah,
Until he's not.
Until he's very angry and he
Which is-
can't control it.
It's amazing.
I mean, like, really, before we get too much into the
Yeah.
analysis or anything, the movie's just about being true to yourself.
Yeah.
And
You gotta be you.
realizing, you're
You gotta be
realizing,
me.
realizing your own limitations and what you enjoy and who you are as a person, and coming to terms with that. It's really
Okay.
a beautiful movie.
So, if you don't know me, I am a huge. I don't want to say I'm a huge Breaking Bad fan. Like I liked Breaking Bad, and then Better Call Saul came out. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, you know what? I'll give it a try. And then I'm probably one of the rare people where I like Better Call Saul more than I like Breaking Bad. And
That's
a
fair.
lot of
Okay.
that is probably due to Bob Odenkirk. I think he's fantastic in that show.
God.
He's fantastic in a lot of things, like Mr. Show with the one. What's the one guy?
I don't know.
It's like
I'm
the
not
bald guy
entirely sure.
from the Alvin and the Chipmunks who tries to take him
Oh,
over. Is he like David something?
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
I don't
forgetting the
recall
name.
it. I don't recall it.
But he's. I would say he's probably getting up there to be one of my favorite actors. I enjoy seeing him in a lot of things.
He was really
Especially after
talented.
this.
He was very good in it. I was
Yeah.
afraid going in that he wasn't going to have a lot of personality in his. Again, if you haven't
Yeah.
seen the promo material, he gets very angry and violent. I was afraid that was going to be his personality.
Yeah.
I was afraid he was going to be like just.
You know what?
Not John Wick,
He
but
has
like
a
in
lot
that
of
same vein.
subdued flair.
Yeah.
There's like, and we'll get
Yeah,
into it
that's
more when we do the analysis. But like his, again, the whole point of the movie is that like, it's supposed to be a very mild mannered guy who eventually like, who did some stuff in the past that becomes like reintroduces himself to this world, this criminal seedy underbelly, and then he just fucking goes off. He's just, oh my god. Okay, so should we just start with the analysis?
Go with the analysis because it's
Okay.
gonna make a lot more sense.
Well, I think one thing we should mention straight away is, and the one thing that really caught my eye, because again, I was already hooked from the action when you say, hey, we're doing a John Wick movie with Bob Odenkirk. I'm like, oh yes, please.
Oh yeah,
yes, But honestly, and I think you can agree too, when the movie starts out, I'm taken away by the editing at first. Especially that first little sequence of like that mundane, like going through his week and stuff.
Yeah, and through the repetitivity of it. It's honest to God, it's like a really good just cinematic scene. Not even looking at the rest of the movie, but just developing the character as showing like, hey, his life is really, really kind of dry and boring, and you can see it. It shows you why it's eating away at him, why the mundanity is like...
Even the like, action montages they do are, like, it's more about, like, being as cinematic as possible rather than, like... And again, there's definitely scenes where they show a lot of the action.
Yeah.
But, like, there's that one scene where... I mean, we'll get into... This is... First of all, it's spoilers, obviously.
Yeah,
Just
spoilers.
Stop watching shit without seeing the movie. Go see them. I know it's hard. I know it's not on any streaming services. But go see it in the theater if you can. I think it'd be awesome to go see it in the theater.
Or at least, at the very least...
Rent it.
Well, I was going to say, if you're not going to go see the movie, don't be upset that you got spoilers from it and that where... Again, I don't...
There's not too many big spoilers.
Yeah, this isn't a movie where I feel like, oh my god, you ruined the twist. There's no penalty.
There's some fun surprises.
There's
definitely some fun surprises.
There's a lot of fun moments, but which we'll be talking about. But I don't think any of it spoils the enjoyment knowing that it comes up.
What I wanted to mention is there's this scene where he breaks into a place and he's like shooting everyone and he's like, and there's like fire and stuff. But like a lot of the shots in that are very like. They show either like a full picture of like a bunch of guys all getting mowed down at once, or it's like there's a flaming money shots. There's the one where the guy's falling from the stairwell. So this scene's a little bit closer towards the end of the movie.
Yeah. I guess like later second half.
Yeah.
I really like that scene just in general because again, one, it's cinematically it's very neat to watch, but it doesn't like expand the runtime by having him we've already seen him by this point deal with a bunch of goons and we've shown that he's a good fighter and that he knows how to strategize and whatever. So it's not like you need to waste your time just like, oh, here's Batman beating up another just like Batman like goon just in the street. We know that he can take care of them, so it's like, I don't know, it's a nice inference.
You know what makes that scene so good, George?
What?
The same thing that makes a lot of this movie really good, which is
it's fun.
The music.
The music
in this movie
is whoever's the sound director.
Perfectly done.
It's really well done. Every choice, even when they cut off the music,
it's at the perfect time. It's at the perfect time, and we'll get into it. One scene especially, I think, really gets into it. But let's say like even a lot of the music in the movie is like a lot of this like classical sounding, like very like big band orchestra kind of stuff, like sort of like the Frank Sinatra kind of thing. It's a lot of stuff you would imagine a guy like this would listen to, like at his home, and he does too. There's scenes where he's like playing with his record player and stuff like that, and it's really fun. But man, I guess the movie starts out with the end of the movie, which is him in custody, and it's like, and then it's like, oh well, who are you? Who the fuck are you?
And it cuts to the title card.
And he goes, I am Iron Man.
He snaps his fingers and then half the movie gets erased.
It starts with that. But again,
so this
that
is
first
a tangent,
sequence,
Tommy, but I'm just thinking about it now.
Go for it.
It literally has nothing to do with nobody. It has to do with the Endgame scene where he goes, I am Iron Man. Do you know what the original line was supposed to be?
What?
He was supposed to turn to Thanos and go, you're fucked.
Really?
Yeah. That's what
I would have liked that a lot more. That's what Hutch would do if he was in that movie. He'd be like, you're fucked. He has so many good one-liners in this movie.
Dude.
Like, here's the thing about action movies, you gotta have... By the way, I'm gonna try to stop saying here's the thing, because I rewatched I rewatched the Godzilla one. I say that way too fucking much.
Yeah. Like, who cares? Whatever.
Again, this is very lackadaisical. But, I say again a lot, too. If you're doing an action movie, you want to have a lot of good one-liners. Yeah. That's what makes, like, Ash Williams so fun to watch in Evil Dead. He's like groovy.
Yeah.
And Hutch has some amazing one-liners.
Oh my god.
A lot of characters have really good
Oh my god.
Okay, I think we're getting ahead of ourselves. So let's start out with...
We'll start with the beginning.
The beginning of the movie, what is the inciting action of the movie is this guy has a very boring life.
Yep.
His son is just kind of whatever with him. I would say, honestly, the son is probably the worst part of the movie for me.
Really?
He's just not, like, he's very stereotypical. He's like, what the fuck, Dad? And he's not really, the kid's not really a great actor. I prefer the daughter.
The daughter's actually...
She's really good.
Yeah.
She acts like a little kid.
She does act like a little kid. It's nice to see a child character kind of idolizing their parents and, like, seeing them as, like, a great
she's, like,
figure.
5.
as opposed to...
She's not like, Dad, why aren't you fucking protecting the home and being the patriarch of the family? She's like, you're nice, Daddy. And then she like smiles with a big little orange peel on her face before she leaves. That was fun. I like that a lot.
So
there's also his very, I guess, sort of disgruntled wife, or just like, she's not really like fed up with him, but she's just kind of like, they're just kind of distant towards each other.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's... I think it comes into... It's a really good way of showing the mundanity of his life.
It's a very basic backstory for this character at first, where it's like, he's just got a boring life. His kids sometimes don't like him. His wife doesn't like him, and they don't sleep with him because the pillow's in the way. His fucking brother-in-law is an asshole.
Yeah, his brother-in-law.
And his father-in-law is actually a nice character.
That's a nice change, too. A lot of times they often do, like, the father-in-law and the mother-in-law. It's like, I hate my, like, I hate my in-laws. But
the inciting incident in the movie...
really nice.
The inciting incident in the movie is that, like, he gets robbed at his house because they break in with a pizza box. And it's, like, really kind of pathetic, though, or whatever. And then, like, everyone around Hutch is like, you're just kind of shitty, Hutch. You should have manned up and really took things in your own hands. He has the ability in a moment to kind of stop the robbery and take him out and whatever. And his son tries to intervene. Yeah. And he's like, let him go.
and Hutch, the main character.
Yeah. Bob Odenkirk.
Bob Odenkirk.
Bobby Odes.
Restrains himself. Mm-hmm. He tells his son to let one of the robbers go. He doesn't murder them with a golf club.
Beat the fucking shit out of them.
And like after this point in the movie, literally everybody else, I would say except for his daughter, and his wife even, but his son and like there's like police officers and even like his neighbor and his brother-in-law. Everybody else, calls him out, and he was like, you didn't fucking protect your family. You could have,
He doesn't really have a lot of people
for him.
He doesn't have a lot of people really close in his life besides like his dad that are like really supportive of him. Besides his daughter, and then even like it's not as much, but like the father-in-law is like, you know what, I'm rooting for you, Hutch. You're a good guy. But he really wants a great deal.
He wants a great deal for the company.
I like a lot of the simple characters in this, like the characters who are like really not into that much.
Yeah.
Their characters is enough to where I like them. Like I like the brother-in-law. I like that he's kind of like, he's this guy he's this ex-Marine or whatever who's seen combat and he knows what it means to fucking
be a man,
put your life on the line and shit. And then it's like the father-in-law is just like, I just want a great deal for this business I worked so hard for.
The father-in-law it's
awesome.
The whole premise with the father-in-law is that Hutch wants to buy the company. Literally, it's not really important into the story until the very end. But Hutch wants to buy the company, and the father-in-law wants a great deal for the company.
Okay. So basically,
the father-in-law just wants to retire.
Basically,
I just want to leave, dude.
His house gets robbed, and then he doesn't do anything about it. And then like a week goes by, and everyone calls him stupid or whatever, dumb idiot. Didn't fucking stop a robbery at his house. He gets over it. It's whatever, because he has a good support group of both his father, and his half brother, who he talks through on the radio, who's supposedly dead.
Oh, he's what's it called? Dead. He's faked his death.
He's MIA.
Yeah, he faked his own death or whatever. But he
has a half brother
through the radio.
Who, his half brother and his dad are also in similar backstories. I would say.
Yeah, his father was FBI, and then his brother we don't really know. He was just
I think
something.
We can mention now what he is. He's an auditor.
Yeah,
is what he says.
Before he becomes a family man,
he's a nobody.
Life gives. Into mundanity. He is initially an auditor, which the way the movie describes it, which the way they do his backstory is so good.
It's good. There's a lot of slow build to it, I think.
Yeah. But no, even like when they do the monologues, it's...
Oh my god, that's my
favorite
part of the movie is whenever he monologues his backstory to anyone and they just fucking die halfway into his monologue. It's so funny every time because it doesn't matter. You get the gist of what he is.
Yeah,
he's a guy who did a bunch of bad shit. He's very covert ops sort of guy.
Yeah, black ops.
Yeah. He's almost untouchable. It seems.
Yeah, pretty much.
In some ways.
Like, the way it describes is that he worked for the government and he was the last person that they had. If they had to send somebody in to take care of a problem, they'd send him in. But it was like they sent him in if they wanted the guy gone, as opposed to like just getting him arrested or capturing him. They were sending him in very much to kill whoever they wanted. He was basically a government assassin, more or less.
Okay. So that happens. He gets robbed.
Yeah.
Everyone calls him shitty.
Yeah.
Week goes by, whatever.
That's
not his tipping point. His tipping point is the goddamn kitty cat bracelet.
Yeah.
Which is just such a... I love this... I guess the people that make these movies, like John Wick, it's because his dog died, and you get that enough.
Yeah.
This is... Again, it's more in line with this character because it's so mundane, but again, it goes to show like how willing he is to go this far for his family.
Yeah. I mean, but even in a more realistic standpoint, like, I can think back to points in my life, even in points like in my week, where your patience gets so thin that anything can just set you off, and just like...
The kitty cat bracelet is nothing more than just like an excuse for him to do what he does.
Yeah.
Like, the daughter, like, loses her kitty cat bracelet. He assumes that the robbers took it. He goes to the robber's house to get back not only his watch, but a bunch of the other shit they stole. And he stops himself again one more time. Well, first, we should say, while he's searching for them...
Yeah. That's what I wanted to talk about.
So his dad is ex-FBI.
Yep.
And his dad is played by Christopher Lloyd, by the way.
Christopher Lloyd. That was amazing. Such a big surprise for me, because I didn't know the cast beforehand. Yeah. So I was so excited to see
Christopher Lloyd is, like, perfect for this role, because, like, he's at the age right now where he's just so, like... He has that, like, sort of weariness to him.
Yeah.
But, he still has, like, his youthful energy.
Yeah. He can still act. He can still be Christopher Lloyd and be a good actor, but he definitely has aged a little bit.
So he takes his dad's FBI badge, and he goes around to look for the tattoo of the lady...
The lady
who broke
robber.
From his house, yeah. So he goes to a bunch of different places. One place he goes to, there's an ex-vet sitting in the tattoo parlor, and he notices that his FBI... badge is outdated, and they're about to fuck him up, and then he gives a pretty good little short monologue about what it means to flash cheese.
Yeah, flash a lot of money.
But what happens is the veteran guy notices
a tattoo.
A tattoo. What was that supposed to be like? I
don't know. It was
CIA, maybe?
No, it was a.
It's like two playing cards.
Yeah, it was two playing cards, and it was like a 7 and a 2 or 7 and a 1 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that's actually like a military or a governmental symbol.
It probably is.
I'd have to imagine, but
we're not sure ourselves. But
either way, the vet recognizes the tattoo, and he stands up and he goes, "Thank you for your service, sir." And he walks into the back room, and all you hear is like ka-chung, ka-chung, all the fucking locks going, and everybody else in. This is why I love this scene, because everybody acts very realistically.
Yeah.
So this...
It's setting up that, like, you really should not fuck with this guy at all. At all. Unless you have a baby who's sick or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is what happens next. He goes to the place.
Yeah.
Their baby's sick, so he doesn't really get as mad. And again, we find out later they didn't even take the kitty cat bracelet, so...
Oh, yeah. But going back to the tattoo parlor. Yeah. So, the guy locks himself into the back room.
Yeah.
And everybody else that's in the tattoo parlor that's like threatening Hutch, threatening the main character, like sees that he leaves and does that, and they all just like kind of jaw drop, and they're like, "All right, how can we help you, sir?"
So funny. He flashes brass knuckles at the guy. He's like in the net. He's very apologetic.
he's so worried. I loved it.
And then it gets to the best scene of the movie, which is... Here's the thing. I fucking love this bus scene so much.
Yep.
It's my...
The bus scene.
The rest of the movie is great.
Yeah.
But nothing tops this bus scene. And a lot of it, again, is because of the music.
The music
is so really well done. So,
the music does make the scene significantly
this
better.
Group of, like... A Russian kid and like some of his weird friends who are a bunch of hoodlums or whatever. They crash They crash near a bus, causes the bus to stop. They get on.
Yep.
And it's implied that they're about to like do horrible things to this like a girl who's alone on the bus.
Yeah.
And that's when he has this great line where he's like, you know, when God closes one door, he opens another. Please, for the love of God, open this door. And they let the guys into the bus, and the music starts to swell up, and it's like the fucking I gotta be me. It's so great.
It really
There's
is
so
awesome.
much build up. And it's so awesome. And then it's just an unbroken fight scene for at least I think probably like a good like 7 minutes.
Yeah,
I say.
It's a long fight scene,
and it's perfect. It's clumsy enough to feel real.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
It's incredibly brutal, and it's so well choreographed.
You know what I really liked about this scene is because you can see him progressively get kind of his juju back, like he gets his flow back.
Yeah, he gets his ass kicked at first a little bit.
Yeah, he fucking gets his ass kicked, but he like kind of turns it around. He gets thrown out of the bus. And then when he gets back in, then it's like...
That's when the music starts
baby.
playing. Again, the music, it's like... There's that scene, it's all grandiose, he's about to do what he's going to do. Then when they start fighting, there's no music at all. It's just complete silence. There's just the sounds of them getting their ass kicked or whatever.
Yeah.
And again, he does a good enough... It's not like he gets his ass kicked, but he gets thrown out of the bus. And most people will probably be like, oh, I guess he's just going to walk away now or whatever. Yeah. He walks back into the bus to continue to... basically almost kill these guys.
Well, technically he did. I mean, he put one of them in the hospital so severely that they did die, which is the setup one guy for the second half.
Gets so fucked up.
I guess 2/3 of the movie.
I appreciate how real it is that he gets fucking cracked in the fucking windpipe with a metal pipe, and it's like, wow, he's actually about to die.
Yeah.
So what does he do? He makes a little trachea thing. I forget what it's called. Where they put a straw in his throat so he can breathe. Again, a lot of it. It shows a lot about his character. Like, he's still pretty merciful, and he's not really a really bad guy. But he's definitely like, don't fuck with him. Do not fuck with this guy at all.
But I like how it was like a crime of opportunity for him.
Yeah.
These guys weren't like on his target list. He wasn't like, they stole the kitty cat bracelet, I have to get revenge.
They're just bad guys in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah. And they just gave him the opportunity to fight, and that's all it was.
It's amazing. That bus scene is it's kind of sad that honestly, like, I think that is the peak of the movie for me, but I think it's just because it's so well done.
Yeah,
it's so well done, and again, it's because of the music.
Yeah,
that's like
the music does really enhance
the music. It's a perfect song choice too, because it's like, I gotta be me. Yeah. It's like, yes. This is like the pinnacle, like the climactic moment for this character where he realizes, okay, I just have to I have to get this shit out of me, and just go back to the way I was, even though like I abandoned this life to go live with my lovely family or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, like, it's still just that deep down inside me. It's that deep seated.
Yeah, and I mean, even the following scene. So after the bus scene, he goes home. And he talks with his wife, which I love that the wife actually knows, like, about his past, as opposed to, like, what are you?
They don't try to hide it, either. Like, even the son, like, he doesn't have his eyes closed when they're coming up the one time.
Oh, yeah, he knows.
They don't really hide shit, which is, like, nice for one of these movies.
Yeah, it's a little bit different, but... I like that, because then the following scenes, they do, like, some background stuff with the Russians, and they set up the main antagonist,
who I love.
But the main antagonist is pretty good. But I loved the scenes where they showed the mundanity of his life again, and like the repetition. But now he's smiling.
Now he's happy. Yes,
and he's happy.
That's so true. Like oh, I just got it out of him, because this is the life he wanted.
Yeah.
He chose this over killing people. As payment, I guess. I don't even know.
Yeah, whatever. Being a
contract
assassin.
killer, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. He chose the simplicity of it, but it's nice to see, like,
he just
needed to get that out, sort of thing. It was like, fuck, I'm frustrated. And the best part is when he's talking to his wife when he comes home after the first fight.
Yeah.
And he turns to his wife and he's like, we haven't been having sex lately.
Yeah.
So in my mind, in my headcanon, this whole thing is just because he's really fucking horny and frustrated, and he just doesn't know what to do with himself anymore.
He's just frustrated with the mundane nature of it.
Yeah.
But also, like, I think it's too, like, he does miss, like, the past of it in some aspect.
Yeah, of course.
You probably have to realize too, like, he fell in love. It's implied a lot. He fell in love with his wife while he was doing this stuff.
Yeah.
While he was still, like, nobody, air quotes.
Yeah. Before he took on the house husband sort of role.
I do love the title of this movie, like the like his sort of title as a character.
He's nobody.
Because again, he it's very like mild-mannered guy, but also at the same time he's nobody, because if the more you know about him, the more of a threat he is.
I mean, in that too, even playing into the title, like, he's nobody in the sense that like, he's an average Joe, he's a faceless cog sort of thing, he's just a family man. But he's also nobody. Like, nobody as in the government kind of wiped out his name, and it's like, yeah, exactly.
No
he's
one
such
knows
a
who the
threat,
fuck
and they
this guy
shouldn't
is.
talk about him.
No one should ever bring up his fucking name anywhere.
Yeah.
No one should point guns at him, especially if you're his brother-in-law, because you'll definitely get your comeuppance later on in life. Oh, it's so awesome.
So do you wanna go into the villain?
I fucking love Julian. Because here's the thing. Okay, it's saying that, yeah, but in a lot of movies like this, normally in action movies, they like you think of like Die Hard, you think of even like Breaking Bad and stuff like that. They go for the cold, calculated killer or the cold, calculated villain. He's like always one step ahead, and he's really smart. And Julian's introduction is he just crosses the street. Cars almost hit him, and he doesn't care. He walks into a bar, he has a drink, he smokes a line of coke, and then he gets on stage and he starts dancing. Yeah. And he's very happy and he's very jovial.
And they imply that that's a regular thing for this character. That's not like a one-time like introduction, because like they constantly show him like singing at the bar, and like just fucking around with the guests and stuff.
I think a good analogy is if again, I'm assuming if you're interested in this movie, you're pretty big like Breaking Bad, like Better Call Saul fan. So it's sort of like the Tuco to Gus Fring. Tuco is like unhinged, like Julian is. They're both like crazy guys who have their own little neuroses and stuff, and like they like having fun with being violent and doing crazy shit like that. Yeah. Where Gus is way more calculated, and he's always like one step ahead. And I like that for this introductory movie too. But also at the same time, I just like characters like that. Yeah. Like he's still threatening. The first scene you see of this guy, he breaks a martini glass and scrapes it. Not slits the guy's throat at first. Scrapes it on the side of his fucking face. And then slits his throat. Yeah. to prove a point. Yeah, to prove. And then the best part is too, no one cares. The guys are like, "Oh, well, that guy's dead. Now we own his share in this big Obshack thing that we're doing." It plays so much around with the tropes of action movies a lot.
The like, mobsters, whatever. And haha, he's a bad guy. Who cares? Sort of thing.
Oh, that's so fun.
I really do enjoy villains that are different and that have personalities, and they're not just, oh, I want to take over the world, or oh, I want to kill the bad guy. Like, break the Batman. No, like I wanna be able to relate with a villain in some sense. Yeah. So, like the other thing that everybody thinks, like with Julian, that makes him a little neurotic, is that he wants to get out of the game and kind of like.
Oh yeah, that's the one thing.
He wants to get out of the Russian mob and just kind of fucking do his own thing, sort of. But for the time being, he has to work with them. He has to protect the money.
The other thing that is what gets him to be involved in the story is that his brother was the guy that got is pretty much brain dead. Yeah, because of what Hutch does.
He's the Russian dude on the bus.
But they even
during the fight scene,
they even say too when they're in the hospital, you don't even like your brother. Yeah, you hate your brother, and he's like yeah, he literally say like your words may be true, but this is like it's more personal than that. It's like just out of obligation, like he just has to go and find this guy.
Oh my god, yeah. So he's like, yeah, you don't choose your family sort of thing, which is nice. And then that sets off the chain of events for the rest of the movie. Yeah. But they show in the bar scene when he's singing and he murders the dude. And in the hospital, there's the Black Russian character who's supposed to be I feel like they set him up to be Hutch's equal, like he's supposed to be what's his name? From the old James Bond movies, like there's the guy with like the razor blade hat.
Odd Job. Like he's like the Odd Job.
Yeah, like they set him up to be like this big kind of looming threat. Yeah. And then when they finally have them clash, he's nothing. Like he gets his ass kicked.
He gets his ass kicked. Well, that it's not even that. It's the first time they really have a conversation face to face. The guy's already on death's door. Yeah. Because of what Hutch does. They break into his house. It's an amazing action scene. These fucking guns firing. And again, I thought too on rewatch. Yeah. Because this is probably my third time seeing this movie already. Yeah. Originally, when I saw the second scene, I'm like, I'm kind of bored of it. Here, the thing about action scenes with guns is like because of the nature of a gun, you can't really do like a lot of cool choreographed stuff. A lot. It's just point shoot. And it's still really well done in this movie. They do a lot of fun stuff. But what I noticed this time, too, is Hutch doesn't start defending himself at his home with guns. He starts with a baseball bat and a knife and a teapot. And then he takes their guns and then starts shooting them, which I think is fun. Like, he's not prepared at all. Again, because he lives this very mundane life. He's not really... The one gun he gets in the movie early on, he puts in the fridge for later.
Yeah, because he's like... He almost seems like, I don't want to say disgusted with the gun, but he's like, I can't have this
he's
sort
like,
of thing.
It's too tempting for him. It's like he knows if he takes it, he'll go back.
That scene is really good, too, the second fight scene. Yeah, so the way they end up finding Hutch is they get his Metro card. Yeah,
his work card, which has so much presence in the movie just because it's in that one little montage at the beginning.
Yeah, they really do set it up as having an important
There's
role,
so many callbacks in this movie.
There really is.
There's a lot, and a lot of them are well done. I didn't even notice this time, too. When the lady's poking at the ceiling.
Yeah.
They're like, what is that, an animal up there? It's like a possum or something? It's a cat at the end of the movie.
It's the cat.
I didn't know that. I was like, oh, I guess he just found a cat somehow.
Yeah,
it's a cat at the end of the movie.
I will say, so there's a rule in acts and cinema. I forget the
Chekhov's gun.
Chekhov's gun.
There's literal Chekhov's guns in this movie.
Everywhere.
Literal in some cases, especially the one in the pizza box.
So after the pizza box. So after Hutch goes on his rampage and his brother's talking to him, he goes and says whatever over the radio, Hutch, you're gonna get fucking shot one of these days or whatever. And the next fight scene, he gets shot.
Yeah.
He gets hit.
He gets shot.
Which is so good, but I don't want to get too ahead of myself.
Yeah, no.
We'll take it one step at a time.
There's also the one too. He goes to visit his dad the first time. Oh, he's like, "Do you remember who you were, Hutchie?" I do, and he says the same thing to his wife, like a bit later on. But he gets back after the first bus fight scene.
Oh yeah. He says it. Do you remember who we were?
It shows how much influence like his dad has on his life, even in some aspects.
The level of understanding too, because in that scene with when he gets the FBI badge and he takes the money and he takes the gun.
We're gonna do something.
And he goes, "Well,
go do it.
Well, go do it then."
Christopher Lloyd steals the show in this movie.
He really is. He's
great.
So good. So there's the house invasion scene. Yeah. They hunt him down. Oh,
the car.
The car. But I wanted to talk about the Metro Pass. So they find him using the Metro Pass because of this hacker, and they get in touch with the Pentagon trying to figure out who this guy is. They blackmail
some guy to go and look up Hutch's shit in the Pentagon. And they can't find anything at first because he's not in the system at the Pentagon.
Which is, they're like,
dig a little bit
who
deeper.
Is this?
And then they find out he's nobody.
They find out he's nobody. They find pictures of his handiwork. And the hacker, blackmailer,
instantly bails.
She literally, she throws the pictures. Whatever. And she goes, "Don't pay me. I'm leaving. Good luck."
As if he would like come after her, like just as soon as she knows.
Well, I mean, I don't blame her. If
she is the one who like, got her information out there.
Well, if she stays there, that means she's in fire range. So like, she's like, "Fuck that, I don't care."
It's so awesome.
So then the home invasion. He sends his family away. He gives the other monologue to the 4 dying people.
That's honestly, I think, my second favorite scene in the movie.
Really? It's a good scene.
That's when you get to explore his character a lot in a fun way.
Yeah.
Again, he's at home. He's sitting at home listening to his records. Again, really playing into how important the music is in the movie. Talking to these 4 guys who are pretty much dead anyway. Just monologuing them, giving his backstory. And you learn a lot about how he literally is just a guy who used to be a contract killer who wanted a more simple life. Out of jealousy, it seems like. It seems like more out of jealousy.
He lets one guy go.
And then that guy goes on to live a very normal life.
Yep.
And be like free of any like sin or whatever. And then he gets pissed at that. He's like, "Well, I want that."
Yeah.
And he quits.
Yeah, and then that's it. But I like how, he goes, he apparently had his basement designed so that it could burn hot enough to turn bone into ash.
Says that.
So people,
Oh my god, that's like his one-liners are so brutal. The one where he's on the bus and he's just like, "I hope these assholes, I can't even say
assholes.
I hope these assholes like hospital food." It's so fucking badass. It's like one of the coolest lines I've ever heard.
But I like the basement scene because it plays into his character where like, even though he chose the life of mundanity and he chose to be a family man, he still like set up things just in case. Just in case.
He doesn't have a gun in his house, but he has a record rigged to fucking light his house on fire at any point. just constant. The burn hotter than the sun, probably.
Yeah.
And that's when it leads to the next callback where there's this neighbor who's like, He's like, oh, I'm a big fucking hotshot. Whenever my dad died, I got his car. It's about to go 0 to 60. Who the fuck knows? And Hutch says the same thing when he hotwires his car and steals it.
And he steals it. Yep.
Oh, it's so good.
And then he buys the shop using a bunch of gold bars.
Yeah.
From his father-in-law.
And it's a great deal.
It's a great deal. And I like that his father-in-law, or his brother-in-law is like trying to protest, and his father-in-law is like, fuck that.
Yeah.
I want to retire.
He wants to punch his son in the stomach and then be like, all right, go ahead, breathe. So unapologetic. He's just such an unapologetically asshole character that like even his dad isn't looking out for him at all. It's so awesome.
It's so good. But
gets you.
Okay, go here, Tommy. This is your movie. Go ahead. Where do you want to take us? So
what happens first?
So he
burns down the ob shack first, right?
Then he goes to the Russian mobster's house.
Yeah. Well, actually, no. Something else happens first because they got his information. They find out where his dad lives.
Oh, yep. They try to go get his dad.
That was the best surprise of the whole movie. I can't even tell you.
I will say that's probably my favorite
scene. Happy I was to see that for the first time. I'm like, how is he gonna get out of this? I really didn't think like he was really like still in it like that.
Yeah.
And he just gets a double-barreled shotgun and pretends he's sleeping and kills the 2 guys that come for him. And it's incredible.
It's really a great scene too, because again, Rorschach's gun. They set up when he visits his dad for the first time.
Yeah.
That he listens to the TV really loud and he watches westerns.
Yeah.
So he's able to get off 2 shotgun blasts, and as like the nurse comes running in, he just turns the TV volume up. So the nurse is like, he's watching a western.
There's
obviously.
Blood covering his face. He's holding the guy's fucking mouth until he dies, and then he pats him on the head. It's so awesome.
It's such a good scene.
Christopher Lloyd steals the show in the movie. He really does. It's so awesome that he's in it.
He's great.
And I think
that was such a surprise.
I think it's fun too to like. Because, again, a lot of the theme of this movie is family.
Yeah.
To have, like... John Wick is already the solo act.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's fun to have, like, these eventually 3 guys of Hutch, his dad, and then his half-brother who comes in later in the movie, which we'll just spoil now because it's fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
He comes in later in the movie to kick ass, and he has some great stuff, too.
He does got some.
He's got the triple piercing sniper rifle.
God.
That was awesome.
That's such a good scene.
Oh
my God, I love Das Vidania. So
he burns down the ob shack.
Yep.
And I like a lot of Hutch's character too. Is like he's still very goofy at times. He takes the painting the one time.
He steals
and
the
then
painting from
he's
the
having
Russian.
Dinner in front of Julian, and he just walks up and he goes, "Mr. Manso." Hey, yeah, how's it going?
He's goes, enjoying your meal. I came for the show.
He's sitting there with the fucking C4 under a napkin, just pointed at him, and no one can fuck with him. And that's when you really get to see like him get really angry. Where he's like, "You came to my house." I fucking love the delivery of that. He's like, "You don't fucking do."
Yeah.
Bob Odenkirk is so good.
I like that scene because Julian actually. So Hutch gives him an offer to basically just like parlay, kind of like fucking give up, like we'll just stop fighting, we can end it all. And I love the fact that he's like, part of me wants you to do that, the other part of me wants you to say no so I can fucking execute
fucking work this shit
all
out
of you. But in that scene, Julian like actually seems like he seems
like he's about to agree until he reveals that like Obshak gets burnt down.
Yeah.
And it's like, even though Julian doesn't care about Obshak and he doesn't really care about his brother, it's just the fact that this guy's... I think it's more the fact that Hutch is willing to like go that far and just keep fucking with this guy and prodding at him until like he just pisses him off enough.
Yeah. I mean, like, really, because the scene... So he goes and burns the Obshak. He very well could have just went to the bar, like, dealt with Julian head on, but no, he goes behind his back and, like, to fuck with him.
It's so awesome. Bob Odenkirk is amazing in this, especially the scenes where they really allow him to, like, get angry.
Oh yeah,
really angry. Like that one line delivery is great. He's great in Better Call Saul, obviously, and Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad again. He's more the comic relief character in that, so you don't really get to see him do a lot of stuff. But when he really does have a lot of range and a lot of talent, and especially this movie too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They really show it.
He does most of his stunts for the movie.
Really?
Yes,
I didn't know that.
He did confirm that.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
I don't know if
that's
that's
cool.
the same case with like Christopher Lloyd or people like that.
I mean, Christopher Lloyd didn't have that many stunts.
Yeah. But it's really well choreographed, a lot of the fight scenes.
Mm-hmm. They're fun. Again, like you said, it's not just people shooting at each other and like trying to duck behind cars and taking pot shots.
This is an action movie where there's no like really shitty CGI blood or anything. Like the blood splatters all seem very realistic and stuff.
Yeah, no,
it seems like a lot of it's done practically, which is nice. Especially like, oh my god, that scene when the house is on fire and they're like just burning the fucking 4 guys there. I remember watching that again. I'm like, wow, what the fuck? Like, how are you not screaming?
This is fucked up.
Oh, that's great.
So then, so he fucks with Julian, and then he prods him one more time at the bar, which leads to the final climactic fight scene.
Yeah, the confrontation.
Where
his half-brother comes in, because he's too old for this shit, but he's got to get back into it one more time with the dad.
To save his brother, to save his brother.
And it's just...
And Christopher Lloyd's line during that scene, where he, like, gives a little monologue. He has that really tiny monologue right before the action really starts, where he talks about like what he does at the retirement home and like how his life is just the same thing over and over again. Yeah. And then he looks at his son, he goes, "But goddamn, I miss this." And then fucking blows somebody in the chest with a shotgun. And you're like, oh fuck.
I like a lot of the, I don't know if other people are gonna take it this way. I sort of like the symbolism with like the weapons they use. Mm-hmm. Like Christopher Lloyd is carrying 20 fucking shotguns. Like he uses a double barrel all the time. Yeah, it just goes to show like he's just this very blunt guy who's just like he doesn't take any shit. He's just always direct and always to the point. Then there's the half brother who is supposedly dead in Mia, so that's why he uses a sniper rifle and no one ever sees him or anything.
That's actually, I didn't even think about that, Tommy. That's really.
And then Hutch is just like he just pistols and stuff because he's a very mild mannered guy. He's nothing remarkable about him. Yeah, he just uses a lot of handguns.
But then you can also say, like, he also has... So he's very mild-mannered and he has the pistols, but then he devolves to using just crude weapons where he can bludgeon somebody to death. And it shows that, like, animalisticness.
The reason he buys the place from his uncle, I don't even know if it's even implying at the end that he really did want his own business or shit like that, or if he just bought this place to turn into a fucking Home Alone trap.
He does turn the entire place into Home
Alone.
So
creative, this movie. They have, like, pressurized cannons launching, like, just spears, like
barbed,
like pipes.
What are they called?
Rebar. They're just launching pipes of rebar. There's like floor grenades and like little pistons pushing down on grenades to blow them up at times. There's mouse traps that like launch off little guns. The fucking freezer gun gets a call back. Which is awesome.
Literally Kirchhoff's gun.
God.
Literally
it's so awesome. It's just great. And then the movie ends with him using the same claymore from the one scene, tied to I guess I'm assuming bulletproof glass.
Yeah.
And he just runs at him and just fucking blows it up. It's great.
Sends him backwards. Oh my god! But I think my favorite one-liner in the entire movie. So it's Christopher Lloyd's scene where it's in the warehouse. He's fucking fighting off guys, and there's like Hutch makes these like homemade grenades out of.
It's like a jar with like nails and like I don't even know. There's like a bunch of stuff in it.
Whatever.
There's one scene where he's like throwing it up in the air too. It's like really fun.
Yeah. But it's like a scrap grenade.
Yeah.
And Christopher Lloyd looks at the fucking guys running at him and goes "Das Vidania," and he shoots the grenade pack and it just detonates over them.
Explodes.
And oh my god, dude! It's really such a fun movie.
It's such
I don't
an
even
awesome
know
movie.
how else to
And here's the thing,
describe
that's the whole movie pretty much, besides like a few scenes of like them setting up, I'm assuming, sequels.
Yeah. That's about it.
It doesn't cut corners at all. It's just very direct to the point. They're like no scene in the movie feels like it's just there to pad it out or anything like that. It's very to the point. It's just a 1.5 hour movie of just like enough build up to where it's extremely satisfying when the action starts.
Yeah.
And it's just they just run with it.
Yeah, that's my fear with a lot of modern action movies is they try to fit in a little bit of everything for everyone. Like they try to put in a little romance and a little heartbreak and whatever. But I think in this they did a really good job at keeping the pace of the movie and still humanizing the characters and still making them good.
Yeah.
Like
everyone is like doing well enough around Hutch to where Bob Odenkirk just gets a run with the role.
Yeah.
And just be like, I'm just this mild-mannered guy who can fucking kill you. But he doesn't. He's not gonna play it like anyone else. He's not gonna play it like Keanu Reeves. He's not gonna play it like I don't know, Leonardo DiCaprio or like Brad Pitt or like any of these other guys. You feel like he just has this like genuine quality to him. I think Bob Odenkirk and like almost all of his roles.
Like, yeah, Bob Odenkirk is very much. I could see him being like somebody's dad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can he gives off that aura of just, I'm a middle-aged man and I'm tired, but I still have enough life in me where I can kick somebody's door in if I have to.
Oh, it's so great.
It was really enjoyable.
And I guess I should bring up, there is rumors of, because it's from the same people as John Wick, there is rumors of a crossover possibly later down the line.
That would be pretty exciting.
It would be exciting, but the thing is, I don't know if I want that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want that. Again, it would be cool. Even if I would just appreciate like a cameo of like one of them in like either one's movies.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't know if like if you incorporate both in the same movie, if like you get as much as a tight focus as there is in this movie.
Yeah.
It's so tightly focused, too.
It really
it's great.
is. It doesn't stray off into weird subplots or anything. It does enough with the background into character stories, but it doesn't feel like, oh my god, here we go, exposition.
I'm afraid that might be what the next movie might be like, because it definitely seems like they're going to set up a lot more of like his backstory in that, and like a lot more of his past, which is like fine if you can do, let's say, like do flashback scenes that have action scenes in them with a little bit of backstory, and then get back to. But I want to see the story move forward. I don't like.
Yeah, I got you.
I don't want to see like that's like the thing with like Black Widow coming out. It's like yes, I like Black Widow. I like seeing Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow, and I like seeing Taskmaster, even though he doesn't look like Taskmaster.
He doesn't look like Taskmaster, but
it's
fine. It's fine.
I don't feel much. I don't gain much from it. Like.
It doesn't imply anything. You
don't learn really anything new because you already know where this character ends up as.
Yeah. You know where her story ends. Yeah. You know who she is as a character by this point. The John Wick crossover, I feel like it would be very hard for them to do a villain if they, like, you either have to put these forces against each other, which means you're going to have to kill one off because, like...
I wouldn't want that.
Which you wouldn't want. Or, like, how do you come up with a villain that's enough prowess and enough of a threat for both of them?
Yeah.
Especially combined forces? Because, like...
Just go apeshit with it. Just have Julian come back and come out and, like, team up with, like, other guys. That'd be fun.
I like, but I do like the difference between, like, John Wick and Hutch, because like John Wick is much more. I'm gonna say less strategic.
It's more glamorous, I would say. It's like, wow, it's Keanu Reeves. He's a big action hero. Everyone really loves him.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like, oh, even though he's killing guys with a pencil sometimes, it's like this guy is like, he's a well-rounded action hero. Hutch, like is berated for the first half of the movie.
Yeah.
Then like begins to get his ass kicked in his first fight, and then just fucking like goes off to the point where it's like, and again, it's still, it feels crude enough. It's still like, I don't want to say mundane again, but like, I guess like it just makes it's more in line with his character. I think.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. So like he seems much like Hutch as a character seems much more strategic, much more methodical. Like he thinks things out a little bit more. Where John Wick is just like, I'm fucking coming in.
Yeah.
And that's all there is to it. Which I like to see that kind of divide. So it's makes the movies feel different. You know what I mean? I did not at any point feel like, oh, this is just John Wick.
Yeah.
But with Bob Odenkirk.
I really like honestly, the cinematography in this movie is actually really good too. A lot of good shots, a lot of good lighting in some scenes. Like the tattoo parlor scene is like pretty good lighting.
Well, that's what I wanted to say. Even the fights at night or like in the dark didn't hinder it. Like I still could tell exactly what was going on. I could tell where everybody was.
Well, the people, they do like the the like sort of like it's nighttime, but there's like a blue light somehow thing. I know people don't really like that because it's not as realistic. But again, a problem with a lot of action movies is the way it's shot a lot of times, because it's like sometimes like shaky cam. It's like, whoa, we're going over here, we're going over here.
Yeah.
You could barely see what's happening like in the fight scene, and that's why you're watching a fight scene. You want to like see
you want to see the fight.
Like if you saw this movie and you didn't get to see the part where Bob Odenkirk kicks the fucking knife into the guy's knee, and like it's just like it's just in his knee now. It's like it's not even sticking out. It's in his fucking knee.
In his knee.
You would be like. You wouldn't get the impact of that moment.
That's also, talk about cinematography. The fact that the camera's low and behind his knee, you see the knife go through all the way, and you're like, oh,
there's so many good shots, so much good choreography in this movie.
It was really excellent. I'm a little surprised at how well it was done outside of just the action.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm surprised that it's a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
On top of being a great action movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes, yeah. I would definitely say that too. It's just like it's short enough to where I can, and I guess it's short enough and it's an action movie, so it's pretty like broad appeal.
Yeah, it's I would definitely recommend it.
Yeah,
if you have the opportunity to watch it, it doesn't take a lot. It's fun to enjoy. It doesn't feel like a movie where you're like, fuck, how long is this still going on for?
Especially if you're getting tired, you want to have more things that like are blockbusters, but at the same time aren't just like, let's just make another Marvel movie, let's just make another John Wick, even let's just make another Godzilla or any of this other stuff.
The fucking Fast and Furious 600.
Like
now the cards in verse.
You want to see new stuff, and I think this does enough well. Like it's even though it's a pretty basic story, it's like, oh, mild-mannered guy becomes big action hero.
Yeah.
It's very basic in its plot, but it's done well enough, and it luckily it's short enough, and it doesn't overstay its welcome at all, to where it's just like you watch it and you're just like, wow, I'm kind of blown away by it, honestly.
So Tommy, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Where was the kitty cat bracelet that set off the chain of events?
That's the best part of the movie, because it literally goes to show like nothing mattered.
Yeah,
nothing mattered. He's not even bothered by it. He's like, yeah, whatever, it's fucking kitty cat bracelet. He picks it up and just puts it in his pocket.
He did it because he wanted to.
He did it because he wanted to.
And
here's the thing, like, even if they did take the kitty cat bracelet, like, path of the movie continues. Like, he gets the kitty cat bracelet, whatever. He'd probably still go on that bus and beat the shit out of those guys.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He definitely would. Like,
by that point he was set off. He wanted to target.
I think that's what's really, I like looking at like flawed characters, or like especially in movies, like getting to see why a person would do really bad things.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, like he
does.
Even though that Russian kid and his friends are potential rapists, let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's definitely implied.
But they imply it, but they don't actually.
But
they haven't acted yet.
Like, oh my god.
I mean? Like, you don't necessarily know if that's where they're going to go.
You're very satisfied to see that kid get like fucked up like that, but oh my god, it's especially after
brutal.
You don't even want to see the fucking straw get put in. It's the little fucking trachea thing. But it's like, it's just it just speaks for itself, really.
Yeah. I really do like where they end up, or how they reveal that the kitty cat bracelet was back at his house. So it's during one of his monologues, he turns and he sees everybody's dead on the couch. Haha.
But then he looks down.
And then he goes, like, son of a bitch. Yeah. Like, thinking, to me, I was like, oh man, like, he's pissed that they died.
He's like, oh, sneaky devils. I was like, oh, that's kind of funny. Then he picks up the kitty cat bracelet. I'm like, oh, there it is.
And then he laughs to himself and like just puts it in his pocket. And he was like, well.
It shows that, like, there's, and it's Bob Odenkirk doing what he does best, where he adds like enough genuinity and like enough of his own flair to this role to where it feels like, wow, it's just like, it's just fun. It's just a fun movie.
At the end of the day,
it's fun, and I would love to see more of it.
Yeah,
and I'd hope Bob Odenkirk would want to do more of it. I hope Christopher Lloyd remains in good health and he gets to be around for more movies, because I would love to see him more. I'd like to say RZA from Wu-Tang Clan as the half brother
was a fun
nice little fun surprise, and he's like, you know, he's just there to like spout one-liners and be funny, and also like to have some great scenes, and that's fine too. I do like that. I didn't realize at first that's what they were setting up. It's like, oh, that's his half brother. I didn't even know that until like they show that picture of like the DH Christopher Lloyd. It's like why is he standing next to this black?
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Yeah, it's weird, but it's fun.
It was good. It was really enjoyable. Honestly, I would give it. What would you rate it, Tommy? What would you rate it?
I love Bob Odenkirk, so I would do 9 out of 10. But like
9 out of 10.
I'd say for most people, it's probably like an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I would definitely put it up there.
If you're more picky, it's probably like a 7 out of 10. With your movies, like But like if you just like going to like, if you're a person that just likes going to the movies with your friends and just seeing like if something is like interesting enough to like just kill hour and a half, it does that.
Absolutely.
And honestly, you'll probably like this is like the movie. I watched this movie like probably a week ago, and it's probably like my 3rd or 4th time like rewatching it. And here's what you have to realize too. It's not on streaming services, so I've rented this movie like twice now, probably.
Yeah.
And I have no regrets. I really don't. It's so fun to watch. It's on. I feel like it's gonna be one of my like comfort movies. Yeah. Or even though it's I can't say like it's one of my favorite movies. I probably will just because like favorite to me is just like I can go back to it whenever and just fucking watch it and it's just
and
fun.
Still enjoy it the same amount.
It's just fantastic.
Yeah, it's definitely a good movie. For like a movie night, like I would.
Yes.
I think I would. I don't want to say enjoy it less watching it by myself, but watching it with other people and getting to kind of have like a group sort of like discussion afterwards, or seeing like the fun scenes and being like, "Oh, what the fuck!"
When you're watching an action movie, you want to see like the guy get his like neck broken, and then everyone goes like, "Ooh," and shit like that. I would love to see this movie in theaters. I really would. And I'm glad. Well, I am kind of sad too that it's like right towards like the peak of when vaccinations are starting, because it's like it's unfortunately probably gonna leave theaters before people really are like, oh, okay, well now I'm gonna go back to theaters and go start seeing movies again.
I'm just excited to be going back to movies.
Yeah.
In general.
That's the thing too. I don't even know much else besides like maybe like a Spider-Man or shit like that I'm like really interested in seeing come out this year. Yeah. At least on like in theaters actually.
Yeah.
There's definitely like some VOD stuff or whatever. I guess Mortal Kombat. We'll get to that one eventually.
Yeah. I definitely would like. I don't know if that's important enough to me to see in a movie theater right now. I think I could enjoy it just as much as I did at home. This would have been a good movie. Like
I would love it.
Would have loved to see this in the theaters.
Oh man. It's just fantastic,
especially with the music on like a good surround sound system. So like, kicks up.
I'll make that recommendation to you if you're vaccinated or if you're even just going in a mask with a small group of friends. Just like you might as well. It's a perfect movie for what it does.
Yeah.
And I think in some regards it goes a little further beyond and elevates a lot of not only the genre it's in, not only the performances of some of the actors in that movie. Yep. But also just as its own thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot of potential in it to go places.
Yeah, I would completely agree. You have me there, Tommy. I completely agree. But I'm all right. I mean, I think I hit all the points I wanted to.
There's not much else to say, really.
Yeah, that's about it.
It's kind of just like you just talk about what happens in the movie, and you're like, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, because I mean, like. Could they make another one? Sure.
Yes.
I hope it doesn't become.
Honestly, even if there isn't another one, I'd like it stands well enough on its own to be fine.
That's what I'm saying. Like it doesn't feel like it. Oh my god! Like I need another one. Like I ate it and I was satisfied. And I'm full and I'm good.
It's great. And again, I do want to stress a lot too. I'm very blown away by the editing, the cinematography, and a lot of like. The music in this movie makes it for me. I think because I really appreciate when people use like licensed music really well in things. I don't think you always have to write your own stuff. I think like you can find it's perfectly done in this movie. Like Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood by Nina Simmons. I think is her name.
I'm not entirely.
It might be sure. Simmons or Williams. There's the I Gotta Be moment.
Yep.
There's even like you got a Wonderful World. In there, yeah.
Is it
Heartbreaker?
Heartbreaker. It's good.
It's so much good the music is just so well done.
And again,
it makes the movie.
That's all right. One last point.
Yeah.
And again, the way that they cut off the music
at the right moments.
It gives us really good transition.
One moment we didn't mention is while like the house is burning down.
Yeah.
And it cuts out to him. He's about to go to his car, and it's like wrapping around the area as you see like his neighbors coming out while Wonderful World is playing. And then it cuts to his neighbor's car, and then he punches through the glass, and the music cuts out because he's about to drive in that fucking car.
Yeah, yeah.
It's again, such good use, such good editing. That's good editing.
Oh yeah,
you don't absolutely. Want like you don't want to like. Again, I know it's kind of hard to get rights to music, so it's like you want to use it to. But that's when you use it to its most effectiveness.
Like in the car chase scene, where they do Heartbreaker, right? As soon as he gets out of the car and the door slams shut, it cuts. Yeah. So like one, it's a good transition of a scene.
Yeah.
But two, it's like, I mean, like this is more analysis, sort of. But to me, that's kind of almost symbolic of the adrenaline.
Yeah.
So in the moment, it's like I'm trying to think of a way to articulate what I'm saying.
Because there's a part where he like because he has to lean down there in that fight. So when he gets up finally, there's a part of the song where it goes like it's just the singers and there's no instrumental or anything.
Yeah.
It's like in the night in the dreaming as he's getting up and then it cuts back on when he starts driving again.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like it's perfectly in sync to what's happening in the movie. And that's what you really want to do with music like that.
It's very well in sync, but it also I'm trying to like think of a way to articulate what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
That's why I'm in such a particular conundrum. We got to do Futurama at some point. I know it's not a movie, but like I would love to.
No, I was gonna say too. I want to branch out to like other stuff, not just like just movies
and whatever. Yeah,
we do shows.
Oh, absolutely.
Do Sopranos.
Sopranos. Let's go.
Do Primal.
Oh my dude, there'd be so much to talk about.
We should do Primal.
Oh. But it to me it's because like I don't know about you, but when I do get shots of adrenaline, I notice afterwards that I kind of like have the shakes. So to me, that hard cut, at least with that scene in particular, or the hard cuts in general, kind of symbolize him like coming down from his fucking combat high, and he's like, "Oh shit!" Like, okay, I gotta think and breathe for a second. Like, I need, I'm back in reality. I'm not just like going with the flow, sort of thing.
It's why I want like, again, I understand copyright and shit like that, but it's like, oh my god, just let artists use your work in ways to like amplify not only like their own but like it goes to show like how well that piece of music is that it could be used in so many different scenarios. Well, it's so awesome.
So I mean this is a little bit more of a movie tangent, but like I know T-Pain writes and produces free music that people can use in movies and shows and whatever and
streaming even
and streaming and YouTube videos because he wants his music to get out there. So like I think back to Guardians of the Galaxy, right? Guardians of the Galaxy has this amazing soundtrack that even after I've watched the movie, I've listened to so much of this classical rock because I got exposed to more.
I'm gonna add like I've Got to Be Me and like the Don't Let Me Misunderstood to like my Spotify playlist. Honestly, like they're good songs too. Like,
but they're good songs, but I forget about them sometimes. You know what I mean? And having that reintroduced in movies is one good for the movie, but it's also good for the music industry because it's like, oh, this license for a Frank Sinatra song that's kind of like going down is now going to be on Nobody albums and it's going to be on people's playlists because they got reintroduced to the song.
At the end of the day, it's like people just want to get paid. So like, I'm totally fine with paying people if they just allow us to use their things and stuff. As long as it's not like an arm and a leg. Like,
of course. As long as they're not trying to scrounge you.
What? At least for like things like that. If I'm just streaming a game, just let me fucking listen to whatever music I want. I don't care. Leave me alone. But I guess that's probably it, right? That's all we gotta say.
I'm good.
I would highly recommend you all go see Nobody.
Definitely
It's definitely worth your time and money. And I would like to commend both the cast and crew of the movie for doing an excellent job.
Yeah, it really was. It was above my expectations.
Especially you, Bobby Odes. I love you, Bobby. You're a good man. Good luck on Better Call Saul season 6.
Yeah, dude.
Is it 5 or 6?
I have no idea.
I think it's 6. I'm thinking like in terms of Breaking Bad. That's why.
Oh, gotcha.
We'll definitely do more things soon.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I'd say you know what we might want to do next time. I might want to we each pick like 3 of our favorite movies, and then we do like a really like long form discussion on all of them.
That would be fun. I'd be down for that.
Good introduction to
the channel.
Yeah, to us as movie critiques.
Yeah, I would say because by this point you guys don't really know us very well and our tastes, and I think something like that would be a good way to.
I'll introduce you to right now. I'm stupid. I just like what I like. I'm not a nostalgia critic. I don't claim to have any expertise in any of these areas. I'm just fucking.
Oh no, absolutely not. But still,
the wall, the fucking wall. We should do a review of the fucking nostalgia critic wall. I don't even know if I can sit through that again.
No. Keep it away, Tommy. Keep it away.
It's funny. Okay.
All right.
Well, until next time, we remember it so you don't have to. Goodbye.
Bye.